And for Hot Copy this morning, we have with us, they say, one of the more surprising and controversial appointments of President Duterte is DENR Secretary Gina Lopez. Thank you for coming to the show.
Hi, Karen.
How have you been? I wanted to ask you, I mean, your first day at the DENR was on Friday.
Friday.
And what was that like for you?
Oh, wow, it's like, you know, I've never worked for government before.
So how was it?
It's the whole thing ever since the appointment has been pretty intense.
Okay.
It's like because it's the whole country and it's intense.
Yeah,
it's intense.
Yeah. And what did you assure the employees of DENR? I mean, I'm sure you gave a speech, a talk.
Yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah. The team is everything, no? And if you don't take care of your people, then you won't have a good team.
Okay.
And I assured them that I will be committed to their well-being. However, I have a non-negotiable stand towards corruption. And so I'm really glad Duterte has taken on these stands, like, because I feel that success comes when God helps you.
Yeah.
And you,
Yeah. And on your first day, I read that a group of students, I think...
in the press, in the
press con. You had students who were
from
taking
UP.
up mining engineering, who were into responsible mining, and you got into a bit of a discussion with them. No, I mean, let's not discuss mining first, but that particular experience.
So I went to them. Can I read? Like, for example, yesterday we had a briefing from MGB, and they talked about responsible mining. So I just like to cite very closely here. The law says that the responsible mining meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of the future generations to meet their own needs. And then with the view of improving the quality of life, not only now, but in the future. And if that's responsible mining, I'm good, man. That's good, yeah.
Okay, all right. We'll go back to mining later. I want you to react on the interview with Energy Secretary Cusi, who said that we cannot do without coal at the moment, coal being more dependable and reliable source for base load than renewables. And the Philippine government has been working on a 30-30-30 fuel mix, which apparently we have achieved, plus the 10% coming from oil-based power plants.
Yes.
So will you fight the building of more coal-fired power plants?
I feel the future is really in renewable. Not because my family is into it, but because it is the thing to do. I have done studies on coal plants and by two people with doctorate degrees, and they say in no uncertain terms the quality of life diminishes, the livelihood diminishes, the environment is affected. So it's not really cheap, no? It's just like the poor are subsidizing. I mean, the investor of coal doesn't pay for these costs, but the poor suffer anyway. So I feel that if we can work towards, and I talked to Cusi, and he's clearly in that direction. I think work towards a meeting of the country's energy needs through clean energy, because that is the right thing to do, where people don't suffer. And if it can be cheaper, why not? In fact, I talked to this person who's moving towards solar, and he said, you know, all we want, and I think the law provides that, is a competitive, open field where they bid it out, and if clean energy wins, why not, diba? Because I think it will come to the point where it is cheaper.
But not yet now. I mean,
not yet
clearly
now.
You have the public paying the feed-in tariff being shouldered by the consumers for all renewables.
Yes, not yet now. But I think to anchor ourselves in the future of coal plants, which is 25 years, when there is a future for clean renewable energy, would not be advisable in my point of view, you know, like, I mean, because you take a coal plant, they're there for 25 years, no? So, and then if there's a future of coal, like they say, of solar, like in 5 years, the prices of solar will go down even more significantly.
So how do you balance this, Secretary, given that when President Aquino left office, he had, I mean, in the pipeline, I think 23 to 25 contracts for coal-fired power plants. And you have President Duterte during his inaugural speech in Malacanang saying, I want all the agencies to respect contracts that have been approved. Do not change it in the middle of the game. What would you do with those coal-fired power plants lined up?
Well, if construction has already started, there's nothing you can do, no?
Yeah.
I mean, it's already there and it's already operating. What I would do is I would increase the standards of coal, you know, because you can't, if you're going to operate, then at least don't let people suffer, you know. So if they're going to operate, I think that's my prerogative to increase the standards of operation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
then,
then
that's quite interesting. So you're saying if the contract is there, they're already building.
Well, it's
the
running.
most you can do as an energy
do
environment,
it well.
is it make sure it damages the least
minimal the
okay.
common good. You know, I already, when I was appointed, I sought audience with the president and I said, sir, I'm not going contrarious to anyone, but what I will base all my decisions on is the common good. And he resonates with that. We should not ever do anything which lets people suffer. And in fact, Karen, like when I do any meetings, I mean, I read this all the time to the people I meet, to my people, to the regional directors. This came from the president. Okay, he says love of country and subordination of personal interest to the common good, concern and care for the helpless and the impoverished. These are among the lost and faded values that we seek to recover and revitalize as we move towards a better Philippines. That's, I mean, how can I go wrong here? No, I mean, that's totally what I believe in. And on that, the common good, we proceed non-negotiably. And the reason why I like Duterte, he said, no, he doesn't care about anyone talking, just common good, that's it. No, he really, inside, really loves the poor.
Were you surprised? Because I'd have to say, I mean, you were, early on, you came out considering, I mean, your family's role in business and media on your own, individually. You came out on Facebook and really supported, you vocalized how you like Duterte.
Because
and then,
of his gutsiness.
Yes, and then were you surprised that you paid him a courtesy visit, I mean, of course, in Davao, and then he suddenly offers you the DENR post?
Yeah, that was surprising.
How did he say it?
He said, so why don't you take it on? And I said, are you sure?
So he said, so you were talking about your advocacy, and Duterte, President Duterte said, why don't you take it on?
Well, I went to him because he had made many comments on Australian mining, and I have, you know, I mean, I love Australians, but Australian mining here is not the best, no? Which means the standards they follow in Australia, unfortunately, from what I have seen, they don't follow those standards here. If they did, then the people, the communities around would not have suffered.
Let's talk about mining now.
Yeah.
President Duterte did say that go to Canada, go to Australia, learn about their practices.
Yeah.
So you believe the listed companies we have in the Philippines, reputable mining companies, do not at all have those standards?
Well, look at this, no? There is ISO, is it 2014 or something like that? And then the administrative order last year, like a year before I even came into the picture, they made that order that all that it is mandatory that all the mining companies in the Philippines follow the same standards as all over the world, which is ISO 2014.
ISO certified.
Yes, and then they were given a year to comply. And if they did not comply in that year, then they would consider, then they would have to face the penalty of suspension. That year ended on April. And from the report given to me yesterday by the MGB head, only 30% have complied.
Really?
So go figure.
So now that you have Gina Lopez as Environment Secretary, the public knows your sentiments about mining and, well, more of irresponsible mining.
Yeah. I want to say one thing,
Go ahead.
Karen. You know, I'm not the one to fight against the mining industry, but what I am very passionate about is the well-being of our people. And I think in no uncertain terms, our people must not suffer because of the business interests. I mean, you know, this is their land, this is our people, and I think Duterte feels the same way. So from there, I mean, this is what I read here, what responsible mining is. So I'm just going to ask the mining companies, follow the law, you know, just follow the law. Don't jeopardize the interests of the present and the future generations for whatever business interests you may have.
Yeah. Now, does this mean that those companies, the mining firms that are not yet ISO certified,
must get their act together or they will face suspension. I mean, that's the law. I didn't invent it. No, I didn't.
Really?
It was an administrative order done a year ago. You know, you get ISO certified or you face suspension. The year is over, so we will do an audit, and this should end in 3 weeks. And the president's thing in his speech is we do not let the poor and the impoverished suffer. He gave a very clear statement to the common good, and I fully intend to follow that to the letter.
Yeah. So this is Secretary Gina Lopez with an iron hand. Is that fair to say?
With a heartful hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Now, let's talk about the ISO certification, because this will be big news.
Yes.
And it's relevant for companies that are watching you right now. How much time are you giving them?
Well, we're gonna just, because I just took on, we're gonna do an audit, and the audit will end in about 3 weeks to a month, and the ones that, I mean, I'm just following the law.
Yeah.
That's what the president said. Responsible mining, and in the letter, responsible mining is ISO certified.
Yes.
So we're just gonna follow the law.
So you're gonna do an audit for 3 weeks. Let's say it lasts 3 weeks.
Yes.
And how long would you give them to be ISO certified?
Well,
I mean,
they were given a year.
Okay.
You know, the order of the ISO thing was given more than a year ago. So they were already given a year to comply.
Yeah, yeah. And is it fair to say you will not think twice about suspending mining firms that do not follow the law?
We will take each case as it comes, but we will follow the law, because that's what the president said. You follow the law, and a non-negotiable commitment to the common good.
Yeah.
So
now,
we'll do what they say. But this is also what I want to say, Karen.
Okay.
No? Like when we close down the things, it is my commitment that I will make sure that the poor or the laborers that are there working will not and must not suffer.
Okay.
You know, because I should walk my talk, di ba? Yeah, I should make sure the people who are driving or whoever is there, we follow the dictum on the common good. I think we can't fail there.
has the Mining Association of the Philippines met with you already?
No, not yet. It's only
Okay.
2 days, but I would like to meet with them.
You would?
We'll do,
Okay.
yes, of course. We will do the audit. I mean, if we can help them in any way do their act better, you know, just don't. Yeah, just
Would
don't-
you push for processing of minerals to be in the Philippines? Because one of the reasons that mining, I mean, it doesn't contribute too much technically to the overall.
0.6%.
Exactly.
0.004%
When you look
government
at the
revenue, like
figures,
zero.
yes.
Yeah.
It's because we actually export raw material, right?
Yeah.
So would you push that processing is in the Philippines?
Well, you know, another thing,
Yeah, go ahead.
they bring the soil
Yeah.
with the minerals, and there are a lot of other minerals there which they don't pay for.
Yeah.
And then they use our soil as their landfill. Hello? I mean, God,
yeah,
no?
yeah.
My God, they bring everything there,
Yeah,
take
yeah.
the minerals, and they don't pay for the other minerals there. Is that
Yeah,
fair?
yeah.
And there are a lot of other things there which is our wealth, which they don't pay for. It's so unfair.
Yeah. No, I have to agree. That's
we-
unfair.
we-
yeah.
we
But
get
where does
very
it go? Does
little.
does it get shipped to China?
Yeah, or
Is it-
China, Japan, or whatever.
Okay,
They
all
get
right.
it. I mean, it's really, really unfair. I mean,
So-
look at this. You know, the net revenue of mining is 35 billion. 29 billion of that goes to the mining industry, and 6 goes to the Philippine government. Hello? I mean, that's so unfair. And out of that 6 billion, minuscule goes to the LGUs, and maybe like what goes to the community. It's just a very unfair situation.
Yeah. So is one solution, Secretary, is it a solution to have processing in the Philippines?
Well, what I would
What would you do it?
What I
Yeah.
would like to do, no, like common good, right?
Yes.
Let's do a study, no. Like you have one piece of land, you do agroforestry, you do forestry, you do biodiversity,
Okay.
and then you value add that biodiversity, and then you compare. Okay, where you do mining and processing, and then you compare which is the better scheme. We have land and we have land. So what way to utilize our land to satisfy the needs of the common good and future generations? Now, let's make a scientific study.
That's one. But
Yeah.
what would you do with minerals that are exported currently? I mean, let's face it, you have mining companies that are operating,
Yes.
and that's the system we have now, even with the Mining Act. How would you, do you have any idea how to minimize it, where the scheme won't be this unfair for the country?
Well, I think the law has to be changed, no?
Okay.
Because the law mandates the unfairness. I mean, it certifies the unfairness. What kind of law is that?
So you would push for that in the 6 years?
Oh, the shift of the law?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's so unfair.
Okay.
Really, like, super duper unfair.
Okay. Now, here's another one. What about tourism sites? You have possible sites in the Philippines that would be good for tourism, but may have pending mining applications.
No, you know, my experience,
Yeah.
Karen, with ecotourism, I mean, like some of my sites, you know, the people are earning 30 million a year. I mean, they can send their kids to college on the second year. I don't know any mining site that can compete with that. And then, you know, agriculture benefits. I mean, even if you look at the money, I think mining gives 235,000 jobs. Tourism gives like 4 million jobs, no? I mean, if the place has tourism potential, like for example, there's this place, I think.
You went to Cebu.
Oh, there's this place, I think it's like a bonsai forest, and there's a mining application there. It's a bonsai forest, my God. You know how big tourism value that has? I mean, I can stake my reputation here, no? Tourism and agriculture, if there be a choice, is much, much better for the common good than extractive industry. So, but we can't do general things. We'll do a case-by-case thing. But in the event that there should be tourism, I'll bat for tourism.
Okay. How many pending mining applications are there? Has the ANR told you?
I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but I think we have 40 mining tenements right now. Yeah. And I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah. So does this mean that any pending application, pending, I mean,
we're putting a moratorium.
Okay, let's talk about that.
And I didn't also invent that. There was an order passed last year. It's called EO 79.
Okay.
Where they put a moratorium on all new mining applications, and that to me makes sense. Let's do an audit first, and the president also said that let's make sure that we can do it right. Yeah, that we can do it right, and then think about allowing other things on the commitment that they do it well.
Okay, all right. We're going to continue this very insightful conversation with newly appointed Environment Secretary Gina Lopez. Please stay with us. Headstart. We'll be right back. Headstart. This is Hot Copy, the second half of Hot Copy. We have with us Environment Secretary Gina Lopez. So in the first half, we've discussed all mining firms will go through an audit, and you want all mining firms to be ISO certified.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can I read this, Karen?
Go ahead. Okay,
this is a DNR Administrative Order 2015. Okay, and this was issued last year. It required all operating mines. It's to be ISO 14001. I made a mistake. Okay, and it sets standards on environmental management systems. It ensures the implementation of an effective management system for environmental protection.
Yeah.
And to date, only 13 of the metallic mines out of the 40.
13 lang pala.
13 out of the 40 have complied. The penalty, and this was cited in the order. I didn't invent this order. I mean, it was
2015.
Okay. Yes, I didn't invent it. It was here. Okay. And the penalty, which was given a year ago, is that suspension of ECC and non-issuance of ore transport permits. I'm just going to follow the law. That's what Duterte said, follow the law. Okay, also, the 65 operating non-metallic mines shall be required to comply within 1 year. Okay, they also have to get their act together.
Yeah.
You can't continue using the resources and letting our people suffer.
My question is, clearly many of them have lapsed the 1 year period to be ISO certified.
Yes.
How much is Secretary Gina Lopez giving them to be ISO certified? Are we talking about 6 months?
No, if they failed in the year, their time is over, di ba?
But what would that mean then? You won't give them a chance to be ISO certified?
We will go around the mines and then see just how far they've gone.
Okay.
You know, we'll take it on a case-to-case basis. But,
Okay.
but I am covered by the law, and that's what Duterte said. If you implement the law, I'm just
So
implementing
the difference
the law.
with you would be political will?
Maybe, like, I'm totally unafraid.
Okay, all right.
Like, I'm
now,
totally fearless. I'll just follow the law.
Okay.
I mean, it's my passion for the common good.
Now, I'm curious. We're going to talk about some mining firms, and there's graphics for this one. You were very passionate about this as a private citizen.
Yeah.
This is the effect of coal mining in Semirara, which was studied. You had studied for a period of time, no?
No, just like
Okay.